March 30th, 2011. The cameras are rolling, the audience is silent, and then, in an instant, the unstoppable force that is Judge Judy collapses on set. A mini-stroke. Doctors insist she slow down. The world expects caution. She does the opposite. This isn't just a story about a TV courtroom. It's about power, strategy, and reinvention. 25 years at the top, a media empire built on iron-willed dominance, and suddenly, gone. But gone isn't the end. It's only the beginning. Where did Judge Judy disappear to? What plans was she quietly orchestrating behind the scenes? And how does a 79-year-old woman outmaneuver an entire industry? The answers are coming, and they're nothing short of extraordinary. The rise of Judge Judy. Let's rewind to 1993. Judy Shaindlin is sitting in her office in Manhattan Family Court, drowning in paperwork like every other judge in New York. She's been doing this for years, prosecuting cases since 1972, serving as a criminal court judge since 1982, and now overseeing Manhattan's Family Court Division. She's good at her job. Actually, she's exceptional. Her colleagues know her reputation. She doesn't waste time, she doesn't tolerate lies, and she absolutely does not care about your feelings. While other judges take weeks to handle cases, Judy burns through them in minutes. She's handling over 20,000 cases a year with a backlog of exactly 0. That's unheard of. But nobody outside the New York court system knows who she is. She's just another judge grinding through the system. Then something happens that changes everything. A journalist named Josh Getlin from the Los Angeles Times hears about this tough-as-nails judge in Manhattan who's revolutionizing family court. His wife, Heidi Evans, had worked with Judy and told him, "You need to write about her. She's different." So Getlin shows up, watches her in action, and writes a profile titled "Justice with an Attitude." The article describes her courtroom style in vivid detail. The rapid-fire questions, the zero tolerance for excuses, the way she cuts through lies like a knife through butter. It's not a long piece, but it lands in front of the right people. 2 talent agents at Rebel Entertainment, Kay Switzer and Sandy Spreeman, read the article and see something nobody else has noticed yet. This isn't just an effective judge. This is television gold. They reach out to CBS and pitch an appearance on 60 Minutes. So CBS says yes. Judy goes on the show, and the response is explosive. Viewers are transfixed. They've never seen anyone like her. She's not polished or media-trained. She's raw, honest, fierce. The phones at CBS don't stop ringing. Letters pour in. People want more of this judge who tells it like it is. Riding this wave, Judy wrote a book in 1996 with a title that perfectly captures her philosophy. "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining." The book is filled with her courtroom wisdom, her thoughts on personal responsibility, and her absolute intolerance for people who lie to themselves and others. Around the same time, she quietly retires from the bench after handling more than 20,000 cases. But retirement isn't what she has in mind. Behind the scenes, Rebel Entertainment is putting together a television show. And they want to create something like the People's Court, but with Judy at the center. CBS jumps on board. The pieces are falling into place. There's just one problem. Judy doesn't connect with the bailiff they've hired. She needs someone who gets her, someone who can match her energy. Then she remembers a letter she received in 1995 from a man named Petrie Hawkins Bird. He'd worked with her years ago and had written to say that if she ever needed a bailiff again, he'd be honored to serve. She picks up the phone, calls him, and before she can even finish explaining, he says, "Yes." The partnership is instant magic. Judge Judy. Beyond the Gavel, Judge Judy premiered on September 16, 1996, and within weeks, it's clear that something unprecedented was happening. The show isn't just successful, it's a phenomenon. Viewership climbed to 9 million, so then 10 million. It surpasses Oprah. It became the highest-rated program in all of daytime television. Americans start saying they trust Judge Judy more than all 9 justices of the Supreme Court combined. Think about that for a second. A television judge has more credibility with everyday people than the actual Supreme Court. What made it work? Judy's absolute authenticity. She didn't change for the cameras. She showed up exactly as she'd been in Manhattan family court, impatient with stupidity, intolerant of lies, and completely unwilling to waste time on nonsense. When someone came into her courtroom with an obvious lie, she'd dismantle them in seconds. When someone tried to play victim while clearly being the villain, she'd call them out without mercy. And she became famous for lines like, "Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining," and "Do I have stupid writing on my forehead?" These weren't scripted. This was just who she was. The money followed the success. By 2005, Judy's salary hit $25 million a year. Her net worth climbed to $95 million, making her the 13th richest woman in entertainment according to Forbes. Critics complained that a television judge was making more than real judges working brutal hours in actual courtrooms. Judy's response? She earned every penny by delivering value to CBS. And she was right. The show was generating massive advertising revenue. CBS offered her $45 million a year to stay. She took it. But success came with pressure. The show never stopped. They filmed constantly, grinding out episodes week after week without meaningful breaks. Litigants were paid to appear, sometimes $500 for longer segments, sometimes just $100 or $250 for shorter ones. They got flights to Los Angeles, hotel rooms, all expenses covered. And here's the kicker. The money Judy awarded in her rulings didn't come from the defendants. The show paid it. This created an incentive for people to show up with fake or exaggerated disputes just to get paid and get on television. Critics started questioning whether this was really justice or just entertainment, dressed up in judicial robes. Judy knew the criticisms. She heard them constantly. Some people loved the early seasons when she showed more patience and compassion. Others felt she'd become harsher over time, more impatient, quicker to judge, especially toward people living on government assistance. The accusations stung, but Judy didn't change. She believed in what she was doing, cutting through excuses and delivering fast, clear justice. But the pace was wearing her down. By 2010, she was seriously considering retirement. Her contract ran through 2014, and she told people she might call it quits. Then March 30th, 2011 happened, that day when she collapsed on set. The mini-stroke that should have been her wake-up call to slow down. Instead, she did the opposite. She renewed her contract and got a raise, becoming the highest-paid person on television. In 2014, she launched a new courtroom show called Hot Bench, featuring a panel of judges instead of just one. By 2017, she signed another contract extension through 2021, bringing her earnings that year to $147 million before taxes. Read that again. $147 million for a television judge. She'd completely abandoned any talk of retirement. She declared she'd only stop when viewers stopped watching. But behind the scenes, Judy was planning something. She didn't announce it. She didn't hint at it. She just quietly started working on a new idea. The legal battle that destroyed her legacy. Then, in March 2020, appearing on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, she dropped a bomb. Judge Judy would end after its 25th season. Fans were devastated, but the show's final days weren't the celebration everyone expected because a legal nightmare was unfolding. In 2016, Rebel Entertainment Partners and their president Richard Lawrence had filed a massive lawsuit against CBS television distribution. They claimed CBS had cut them out of their fair share of profits from Judge Judy. Rebel argued that they were the ones who discovered Judy and introduced her to CBS through Kay Switzer, but now CBS was paying Judy so much money that they couldn't afford to pay Rebel their cut. They accused CBS of exaggerating the show's costs to reduce apparent profits and secretly launching spin-offs like Hot Bench without telling Rebel so they wouldn't have to share revenue. Suddenly, the woman known for demanding justice found herself accused of denying it to others. But Judy wasn't backing down. She fired back hard. She called Richard Lawrence greedy, pointing out he'd already made over $17 million from her show. She said he never maintained any relationship with her after the show took off. She defended her salary by arguing she earned it through the value she brought to CBS. The court took Judy's side. In 2018, they ruled she wasn't overpaid and was indeed valuable to CBS, but they also said she and CBS should have informed Rebel about spin-off plans. The drama didn't end there. Rebel appealed. CBS tried to settle. Rebel went after them again, this time including Judy in the lawsuit. Judy had enough. She refused to settle and filed a countersuit demanding $22 million, accusing Rebel of shady business tactics. The court told Judy that if she wanted to continue her case, she'd also have to sue CBS. That put her in an impossible position: chase the money or stay loyal to CBS. She chose loyalty and lost the case. But here's the thing: she didn't seem to care. Later, the California Court of Appeal backed the original ruling, saying CBS hadn't broken their contract with Rebel and was paying them exactly what was agreed. Meanwhile, C.K. Switzer and Sandy Spreeman's trustee Jay Robinson also sued, arguing they deserved royalties since they'd discovered Judy. That case got thrown out in 2021 for having no merit, but lawsuits kept coming from other directions too. In 2013, Patrice Jones, wife of Judge Judy's executive producer Randy Douthat, sued Judy, claiming she'd conspired with Randy to buy expensive cutlery and china that actually belonged to Patrice. To keep the peace, Judy returned the items through Randy, who gave them back to his wife. All of this legal chaos was happening as Judge Judy was ending. Most people assumed this was it, the end of an era, the final chapter. They were wrong. Judy already had her next move planned, and it was going to prove she understood the future of media better than executives half her age. Judge Judy versus. So the future. Before Judge Judy even ended, Judy was building something new. She wanted a fresh courtroom show that would feel modern and connect with younger audiences. That show became Judy Justice, and she made a controversial decision. She chose to work with her granddaughter Sarah Rose as the law clerk, but she didn't invite Petrie Hawkins Bird, her longtime bailiff. She told Bird she couldn't afford his salary. After standing by her side for 25 years, Bird was blindsided. He thought she'd at least discuss it with him before making such a major decision. Fans were furious. They remembered that even when Judge Judy won its first Emmy in 2013, after 15 nominations, Bird was seated 20 rows behind Judy, not next to her. When it was time to accept the award, she didn't invite him on stage. These moments added up. When Judy Justice launched without Bird, longtime viewers felt betrayed. Eventually, the truth emerged. Judy wanted a younger face to appeal to a new generation. But in trying to modernize, she nearly alienated the fans who'd supported her for decades. Realizing her mistake, Judy brought Bird back, but in a different capacity. She gave him a role as bailiff on a spin-off show called Tribunal Justice, which featured a panel of judges instead of just one. The move partially repaired the damage, but the relationship was never quite the same. Here's what nobody expected about Judy Justice. It was a strategic masterstroke. The show launched on November 1st, 2021, not on traditional television, but on IMDb TV, Amazon's free streaming service, which later became Amazon Freevee. Industry analysts were confused. Why would someone with Judy's track record and audience move to a platform most people had never heard of? Because she saw what they didn't. The future audience wasn't watching daytime television. Younger viewers didn't organize their lives around broadcast schedules. They wanted content on demand, on their phones, on their tablets, whenever they chose to watch it. Judy Justice kept everything that mattered: her sharp wit, rapid justice, intolerance for nonsense, but updated everything that needed updating. The set was sleeker, the pacing tighter, the production values higher. Sarah Rose brought youth and fresh perspective as law clerk. Kevin Rasko took over as bailiff. Whitney Kumar became the court reporter. The format remained recognizable but refined for streaming audiences who consumed content differently than traditional TV viewers. With the gamble paid off spectacularly. Judy Justice became IMDb TV's most watched original series. New audiences discovered her for the first time. Younger viewers who'd never watched daytime television started streaming episodes during lunch breaks and commutes. Amazon executives were thrilled. They'd taken a risk on a 79-year-old television personality and discovered she understood their platform better than people half her age. Judy Sheindlin. Power, strategy, legacy. By 2023, Judy Sheindlin wasn't just a television personality. She was a media strategist, a legal innovator, and a cultural force rewriting the rules of relevance at 82. After leaving Judge Judy in 2021, many assumed she was retiring. Instead, she expanded her empire. She launched Tribunal Justice, a show featuring rotating panels of 3 judges, including her son Adam Levy and husband Jerry Sheindlin. For the first time, audiences saw real debate over legal interpretation, judges discussing mitigating circumstances, dissecting multi-party conflicts, and tackling cases far more complex than the small claims disputes she had ruled on for decades. Then came Justice on Trial, a series that turned history into a courtroom drama. Judy analyzed landmark legal cases, controversial verdicts, and pivotal moments in American law, combining archival footage, expert commentary, and her legal insight. The series positioned her not just as a television personality, but as a serious legal scholar and commentator, extending her influence beyond entertainment into cultural discussions about justice and fairness. Her reach didn't stop at traditional TV. In 2024, an AI-powered TikTok account called Baby Judge Judy went viral, using deepfake technology to turn her most iconic moments into a hilarious animated infant version of herself. Most celebrities might have sued, but Judy saw opportunity. She embraced the trend and announced plans for an official animated series, demonstrating a rare strategic agility. At 82, she recognized that AI, social media, and animation were tools to expand her influence, not threats to her legacy. Judy's mastery extends beyond media. Born Judith Susan Blum in 1942 in Brooklyn, she built her career with determination, earning a law degree from New York Law School in 1965. Her personal life was equally dynamic. After marrying and divorcing twice, she remarried Jerry Sheindlin in 1991. Together, they blended families, raised successful children, and built a multi-generational legacy that includes lawyers, medical professionals, and educators. She also leveraged her financial acumen, acquiring properties across New York, Florida, California, and Rhode Island, including the $9 million Birdhouse estate in Newport, Rhode Island. Her influence extends into mentorship and philanthropy. Through the Her Honor program, she empowers young women pursuing careers in law, reinforcing her legacy beyond the screen. Legally, she remained unshakable. In 2014, when a personal injury lawyer used her image in advertisements without permission, she sued for damages, ultimately winning a settlement that funded her mentoring initiatives. A vivid reminder that control over her image and narrative has always been paramount. Judy Sheindlin didn't just retire from Judge Judy. She reinvented herself across platforms, genres, and generations, blending legal expertise, media savvy, and strategic vision. At a time when most would consider slowing down, she demonstrates that influence isn't about age. It's about foresight, adaptability, and the courage to seize every opportunity. Judy remains an unparalleled example of building a legacy that evolves, adapts, and endures. And so, the story doesn't end with retirement. Judge Judy didn't fade away. She adapted, evolved, and rewrote the rules of relevance on her own terms. She turned moments of vulnerability into opportunity, old platforms into new empires, and conventional expectations into lessons in audacity. The courtroom was just the beginning. The real question now isn't whether she can remain at the top. It's how far she'll go next. What else could she disrupt? A reinvent or dominate that the world isn't even ready to see? The answer isn't in reruns. It's coming. And when it does, you won't want to blink.